Hello and welcome to episode 376 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice. It's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Today we're talking about something that is really cool. Well, you'll be the judge of that, I'm sure, but I think it's really cool. Really cool. It's a little bit hard to explain how to do it, which is unusual for me because I like to purely talk about really practical, actionable things. But nonetheless, I think it's worthy of note. Definitely worthy of note. I call it logo meaning. Logo meaning. And there's a couple of logos. You may or may, depends how much interneting you've done. You may or may not have seen this on your travels. But there's a couple of logos I want to talk to you about in particular. The first one is the Amazon logo. You may or may not have realized the little smile, the little tail squiggly line thing on the Amazon logo. Have you ever noticed before? It goes from the A at the start of Amazon to the Z partway through. So A to Z. That's deliberate because they're telling you they do everything from A to Z. It has some implied meaning in the logo. The second one is FedEx. See the FedEx trucks all the time on the road, but the logo is interesting. Where the capital E from FedEx, the E meets the X, in the white space, the negative space there is an arrow between the E and the X. You can't unsee this once you've seen it. You can't unsee it. But between the E and the X, there's an arrow because they are forwarders, freight forwarders. They deliver parcels and things. So very clever, very cool stuff. Very hard to do. I couldn't give you like a play-by-play way of doing this. But for me, as somebody that specializes in messaging in particular and in teaching people how to sell, when you have a meaning in your logo, when it has implied meaning and it relates to something, it really encourages me and makes me realize that you have a high attention to detail because you've bothered to put that in your logo. You've got that attention to detail. So where else do you have a high level attention to detail? And it just inspires confidence in me as a buyer. And as a buyer, I'm looking to you, as the seller, I'm looking for you to have confidence, certainty, and expertise. And confidence is one of the most hardest things to get across. Confidence, certainty, expertise. When you have implied meaning in your logo and it shows me you've got a high level of attention to detail, that is really encouraging and it gives me confidence in you as a business. Right, slightly weird one today for you. So yes, there isn't like an takeaway or an actionable thing other than could you put some meaning into your logo, but I can't really be any more explicit than that. In my own logo, Clear Sales Message, it's literally white text on a black background, so there's not a lot I can do there other than the fact that the name of my business and the logo itself are completely easy and obvious to communicate and to consume when you read them or see them or hear me say it. So I suppose you could say there's some meaning there. Right, that's it for this off-piste edition. But to be fair, we are 376 episodes in, so I'm allowed a little one every now and again. That's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in 377, we're talking about clients and something that you can offer them that they will want, but it's also beneficial for you. And we're not selling them anything. These are your existing clients. They will want it, or they're likely to want it. Also beneficial for you. We'll cover that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end for this slightly different edition of the podcast. I'll catch you tomorrow. We'll be back on track.